America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning. Beautiful sunshiny day in Winona County. We'll start our meeting off with public comments. Anybody in the audience wishing to address the county board by on any topic, please step forward now and say your name and address. Seeing nobody rushing to the podium, we'll move on. Approval of the county board minutes from February 27th.
So moved.
Second. A motion by Commissioner Kavesi, second by Commissioner Pomeroy to approve the meeting minutes February 27th. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Approved. Acknowledge receipt of committee minutes from Planning Commission, January 18th, and the Board of Adjustment, January 18th.
I move to acknowledge receipt.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Pomeroy, second by Commissioner Jacob to acknowledge the receipt of the meeting minutes from Planning Commission and Board of Adjustment from January 18th. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Approved. Acknowledge receipt. Consent, comments, and approval of the agenda. Mr. Fritz?
Nothing.
I have an announcement at the end.
Okay. Nothing. Commissioner Olson? Commissioner Jacob?
I have one, please.
Okay. And I have one. All right. With that, I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Pomeroy, second by Commissioner Jacob to approve the agenda as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Approved. Mr. Fritz, if you'll read that into the record, please.
All right, I'll read the consent of business into the record. Committee recommendations 6.1, approve conditional use permit for Dwayne and Cindy Herber and Lindsay Wetzel, allowing placement of dwelling located within agricultural resource conservation district on parcel less than 40 acres and within shoreline overlay district. Department recommendations 6.2, approve the state of Minnesota grant contracts, federal subaward agreements for snow sports, snowmobile club, and whitewater trailblazers. 6.3, approve office space lease agreement with Sunburst Memorials. 6.4, approve renewal of purchase of service agreement with Lutheran Social Services of Minnesota for guardian conservator services. 6.5, approve memorandum of agreement with Winona State University to furnish a clinical experience program for students of Winona State University College of Nursing and Health Sciences. 6.6, approve renewal of agreement between the County of Winona and Common Ground for Rule 25 assessments. 6.7, approve renewal of grant agreement with Hometown Resource Center, St. Charles, Minnesota for volunteer services. 6.8, approve renewal of agreement between the County of Winona and Hiawatha Valley Mental Health Center for Rule 25 assessments. 6.9, award bid of dump box and plow system and accessories to Universal Truck Equipment. 6.10, approve Take Our Daughters and Sons to Work Day. 6.11, approve the 2017 restricted and assigned reserves. 6.12, confirm payment of disbursements. That concludes the consent business on the agenda.
I move to approve the consent business as presented. Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Pomeroy, second by Commissioner Olson to approve the consent business as presented. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Approved. All right. Moving right along. We have general business. We are going to receive an update from the extension group. And welcome. Thank you for coming this morning.
Good morning. Thank you for having us. My name is Lisa Dirks. I am the new Regional Director for Southeast Minnesota out of the Rochester office. So I'm just going to give a brief overview of Extension and the County Extension Committee, and then Jake and Kim are going to give program updates on what they're actually doing for work in your county. So thank you. So first of all, a reminder of the mission for Extension. And so it is to make a difference by connecting communities, needs, and university resources to address critical issues within Minnesota. We have been serving Minnesota since 1909, and we connect Minnesota to the rest of the university There are 5 campuses within the state, but there are county extension committees in all 87 counties. The values for extension, so that we use research-based educational information and programs on critical issues within our programs of work, that we reach citizens and communities across the state, and that we work to build partnerships through education. There are over 800 faculty and staff. I think it's actually 865 staff within extension within the university, and over 65% of us live outside of the Twin Cities area. Every county has a county extension committee. Those committees are comprised of 2 county commissioners, 6 persons from the public within the county, and then either the county auditor or their designee who attends the meeting. Some counties also support youth representation on those committees. In general, by statute, those committees meet 4 times a year. Each county is a little different in our 9-county area down here. Some choose to meet every other month. The meetings are usually set the December before. The goal of the County Extension Committee is to identify programs to be offered locally. So within Winona, we have our ag programs and 4-H. To provide selection and job performance on the extension staff that are within that county, and then also work to develop the county extension budget that they would recommend to the commissioners for approval or discussion. The committee's role within programming as well is looking at what are the local trends and needs within that county and bringing those forward to the meetings. If there are statewide priorities, how can we bring those back to the counties, and linking extension with other community groups. One of our other priorities is to ensure we are serving underserved audiences within our program areas, and then also, as with any good programs, determining if it is time to sunset anything that has just run its due course. So one of the goals for this coming year is it is a memorandum of agreement year with the extension to counties, and so that will be a piece of work that comes up later this summer into early fall. And one of my other goals as a new regional director is obviously meeting with all the county extension committees, but working through how to communicate what else extension offers, and are there possibilities of bringing that from a regional perspective to communities within the county, but also hearing from the county extension committees, what are the needs and trends going on within Winona County, and is there something extension can do to help that? So I'm going to turn it over to Jake.
Good morning, everyone. I want to thank you all for making the time to have us here today and for the invitation. My name is Jake Overgard. I'm the extension educator in the area of ag production, and just wanted to kind of share some of the work that I've been doing and kind of some of the upcoming things that I see in the horizon. So when I first started with extension, our committee did a nice job of kind of identifying some of those needs and areas where they wanted my work to focus. And so over the years, it's kind of developed and progressed, and it's this isn't all encompassing, but I would say that generally this kind of covers what my work entails. And I feel like it in Winona County, it's kind of a challenge because agriculture is really diverse. We have a lot of different types of farms. We have dairy, lots of other forms of livestock, crops, and then some of our specialty crops, horticultural products, fruit and vegetables, organic production. There's a really wide range. So it is a bit of a challenge, but it's kind of fun for me because I get to learn new things and bring other people from the university in who have expertise in these other areas where I do not. So that's a fun part of the job. A lot of the education that I do focuses on kind of different forms. I do a lot of in-person workshops where we bring a speaker in, or else I'll give a talk and do it in places like St. Charles or other places around the county. We've also been doing some webinars on different topics, more focused on some of the like local food production and that type of thing. And then also field days are always popular as well. So whether it's cover crops or nitrogen management, pasture walks, lots of different types of field days too for our farming community. Also, other ways of getting information out. We've got our county website. We use a lot of social media. We have walk-ins to our office, phone calls, also do some newsletters and emailing. And then we also rely on some of our partners to kind of spread the word. You know, if we have partners that we work with, like I work a lot with Department of Ag and some other partners. And so if I can get information to them about the work that I'm doing and information that we want to get out, that kind of helps spread things further. So my time is supported at 50% by Winona County, and then the other half of my time has been supported through grants over the years. And we've been, I think, lucky in what we've been able to accomplish and get set up in terms of that other half. So I've been working about the last 2 years on a cover crop project that we've been doing a lot of cover crop demonstrations in the region, and workshops and field days related to that. And then for the last 3 years, I've been working with the Department of Ag and local SWCDs on a project related to nutrient management, focusing on nitrogen and helping farmers assess their nitrogen management, looking both from the angle of farm profitability and efficiency, as well as water quality and the environment. So that's been a good project too. We also have a good contingent of master gardeners here in the county, and I provide some oversight to that group. We have about 30 volunteers, and last year they gave just under 1,000 hours of volunteer time providing education locally, and they do a lot of great projects. Like on the far left, they do have a kids garden each year and have a bunch of kids come out and learn about horticultural skills and the science of all of that. They also, on the right, you'll see they have a library grant program where they do a lot of fundraising over the year and provide funds for libraries to purchase materials on horticultural skills and that type of thing. And they're really effective at fundraising. They're self-supported, so the programs that they do are funded through the fundraising that they do themselves. I'll be continuing a lot of the same work that I presented at the beginning. We do have some new things coming up. I've got a transition in grant funding from Department of Ag doing the Southeast Minnesota Nitrogen BMP project to EPA-funded 319 grant. A lot of the work is actually going to stay the same. It'll be a little bit of a different focus area and working with farmers again on nitrogen management in the Whitewater watershed. So looking forward to that. There's been some recent federal rules related to food safety for produce farms, and we're going to be providing some education through Extension and some other partners around here on food safety. So that's the Food Safety Modernization Act, which is impacting some of our local farms. And then farm safety, I've got a colleague in Fillmore and Houston counties, Mike Cruz, who works with Extension down there. And he's put together a nice tractor safety program over the last few years. Last year, I helped out a little bit with that program, get a number of Winona County youth that participated in that program, and we're looking to try and expand that and make that more available and improve that program so that our local youth can learn more about farm safety so that things are safe out on the farm. So that's a general update from me. Pass it on to Kim.
Well, good morning. Thanks again for meeting with us. I am Kim Wingert. I am the 4-H program coordinator here in Winona County. I started last February, so it's just been over a year. I'm enjoying every minute of it, and we have a great county. I grew up in Plainview, and so Winona isn't far away at all. But I'm just going to share some of the updates. Our program changes constantly throughout the year. We have different activities, so we're just going to step through some of the county and regional and statewide events that we do have and our youth participate in. Currently, we have 13 clubs in Winona County. There's over 300 youth 4-H members, so kindergarten through 1 year past high school. We have 125 screened adult volunteers that help run our clubs in different events, and 8 youth federation officers. 6 of them are pictured in that picture down there doing a service project that they did this fall when they got started in their officer roles. They were doing Presbyterian relief, disaster relief bags. And so they encouraged all of our clubs to bring bags to the Federation meeting, and then through that program, they took them to the church or wherever they go, and then they go to places in need, like whether they had hurricanes or different things happen like that. So that was a cool thing to see them get involved with right away as they dove in head first. Some of the county events we have the Winona County Fair every year. I know this year, or in 2017, we actually did an extension committee tour, which both of Marcia and Steve were able to attend, and we are talking about inviting everyone this coming year. So we did a little tour of the fair. I didn't lead it. Our youth officers and leaders led it, so be on the lookout for that. That was very cool. Cloverbud day camps, that was something we brought back. They had them quite a few years ago, but we have a lot of younger kids in kindergarten through second grade, so these are starting 4-Hers. And so we offered 2 Cloverbud day camps at Farmers Park in Stockton, and this year I'm hoping to open them up to some more locations to get a few more kids involved. Our 4-H Fall Harvest is our large fundraising event throughout the year. This is a cool event to see come together. We do a silent and live auction. We have a lot of businesses that help make this event possible, and then we also have like a pork dinner. This year we raised over $10,000, and all of that funding goes back into the 4-H program, so we can send kids to different events, whether it's State Fair or some of the workshops that we're talking about coming up that allow our youth to go, so it doesn't all come out of their families' pockets. With my first year in 4-H, I attended some of our clubs meetings. So there was 5 different clubs that I got to go visit and get to meet the families a little better. Then they don't meet me necessarily in the office or just at the fair and things like that. So that was cool to get to know different people and how their clubs run and things like that. Project Bowl, we have a couple Project Bowl teams. So basically they learn about different livestock species. And last year we had a rabbit Project Bowl team. This year we had a dairy Project Bowl team that both did very well and found it very beneficial. And then youth training opportunities, that is something I help with at the county level and the regional level. And like this year we had a club and federation officer training. So any of the kids that are serving as an officer at their club level or at the regional level, they can come to this training and learn how to have good skills to be a president or to be a historian or a secretary and different things like that. Regional events, the Regional 4-H Camp takes place every year in June at Whitewater State Park. So there's 7 different counties that are invited to that. This year we filled up all of our spots again. There's a 3rd through 5th grade group and then a 5th through 8th grade group. And so those filled. And we have camp counselors that are 9th grade and above leading the trainings from anywhere in the 7 counties. And so we offer those trainings in April and May. So those will be coming up, and the kids get to do weekend trainings and learn about how they can be a good camp counselor. Blue is a building leadership and understanding workshop that takes place in February. We've had 9 youth attend the past 2 years. They found it super beneficial and helps them, bring leadership skills back to their communities and to the county. And we have helped fund those the last 2 years. We get some grants to help with those kind of programs, but then also like our fall harvest funds go towards this. Regional Project Day, I helped with last year as I was just getting started, and then I helped plan it this year. It's actually coming up on Saturday in Plainview. And so we have multiple different workshops and sessions that are anywhere from an hour and 40 minutes to 2 hours and 20 minutes long. And so we get volunteers, and so there's a sewing workshop and an ATV safety workshop this year. They do science labs and bread making. So just really cool different events that some of these kids can learn skills, and they can either take these projects to the fair or take them back to their communities or their homes. State participation, CWF, is Citizenship Washington Focus. So that is actually an event that they get delegates from Minnesota, and they send them to Washington, D.C. to learn more about our legislature. We had 3 youth from Winona go last year as delegates, and that was funded by our fall harvest funds. They had a fantastic time. They came and reported back to us, actually, and were able to tell us about some of the things that they learned. And this is part of some of the projects, like the community service project that they did in September when they started as Federation officers. Some of that came from what they had learned when they were in Washington. The Minnesota State Fair, we had 53 kids attend with their livestock projects and 41 attend with their static projects with multiple purple ribbons. So Winona County was well represented by our youth. The state shooting sports, there was 9 kids that qualified to go to the state shoot, and we had a couple of them placed in the top 10. So once again, some fantastic representation from Winona County there. Coming up in 2018, we have a club involvement event, which is actually going to take place on Sunday. Our Federation officers had goals this year that they would like to see more clubs working together and getting together more than just at the fair. A lot of our clubs meet monthly, but they don't necessarily mingle with each other. So that was one of their goals, and so they actually planned a bowling event for this Sunday for clubs to come, and they have different activities planned to get kids working across different lanes and doing goofy things. So we're looking forward to that. Increased Cloverbud Day Camp offerings, like I had mentioned, so we're hoping to offer them in multiple different counties. So if it doesn't work for families just to come to Stockton, that we'll go to St. Charles or we'll be in Winona and different things like that. So those will be offered in August, and we have different interns through the Workforce Center that will help us with that. And then project workshops. We have a dairy project workshop coming up in April that our volunteers and youth help plan. So new members or people that are just starting to get involved in the project can attend. And then we also have an engineer workshop that we have planned for May with Goodhue and Wabasha counties. So we're looking forward to that as well. And that is all I have. So thanks again for your time, guys. We appreciate it. And if you have questions on any of our programs, you feel free to ask them now or get in touch with us. Or if you want to attend or know people that want to get involved, send them our way. So thank you.
Well done report.
Yes, thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
A question, Jake. I know there's a couple events coming up real soon here in March. I know there's a soil health. Are you involved with that?
Yeah, we actually just had our soil health meetings. We were just in St. Charles in the county, and we had good participation there. We also had to hold an event in Rochester for more like our crop advisors. So one of the things that I try to do is also not just educate farmers, but our crop advisors and ag professionals that also have a really big impact on agricultural practices in the county. So we provide training for them as well. Yep.
I think there's one maybe coming up in Houston or Fillmore County.
Yeah,
that I read
and
about.
we're also holding a poultry production workshop in Rushford coming up soon as well. So that's in a few weeks. Yeah, right now we're kind of, like the last 2 weeks has been exceptionally busy with a lot of workshops. And we've got a few more coming up and then kind of transition into summer field work and looking at field days and whatnot. So we've been planning some dairy events and whatnot too. So.
Good. And those are all posted on the website?
Yeah, we either get it on our county extension website or almost more commonly on our Facebook page, which reaches a lot of people too. So, yeah.
I just had a comment when you said you were busy recently. I know you were busy because I attended the Gardeners' Day last Saturday, and it was really another successful event to reach out to the gardeners community regionally, because we had people attending from Rochester, and I know it's a big fundraiser for the Master Gardeners, so thank you for your help in organizing that.
Well, you're welcome.
That's a great group of people. They do service all over. They work at ORC in the summer to do gardening and then nutritional information about what to do with what you've gardened, and just some really good programs coming out of the Master Gardeners. So I appreciate that.
Yeah, and they're a great resource, both for the citizens of the county and also for me. I can pass things on for them to work on when so that I can do other things as well. So they do a really nice job.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. And the children's garden is probably my favorite. So yeah,
It's a great project.
spend a lot of hours there.
Yeah, I'd maybe just like to mention a couple things here. So Marcia and I at our extension meetings, we thought it'd be a good idea to for extension to give a presentation, so the board's just kind of in touch with. They're very active. They're really doing a lot within the community. Really trusted, engaged. I have to talk about Kim. You were in 4-H growing up too, right? Yeah, yeah. So Kim has a Plainview address that's in Winona County. Yeah, so. Yeah. But we've got Plainview addresses in Winona County. So, and what a great family she comes from. How many uncles do you have, farming aunts and uncles?
There's a handful of aunts and uncles. There's 12 of them currently. Not all of them farm, but there's a handful in Plainview that farm. And I have 5 siblings that no doubt will also end up on a farm someday.
Yeah, so very actively involved in the community, and Jake is just very respected and trusted in the community, and the work he does is so fair and balanced. It's it doesn't matter whether it's large ag or small organic. he just across the spectrum, extremely a good fit for Winona County. So we're very fortunate to have both Kim and Dave down here in Winona County. So, yeah.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. And as Commissioner Jacob said, the presence of the University of Minnesota, the wealth of knowledge and research. In fact, yesterday I was having a conversation and I offered Jake your services. Southeast Tech is trying to put a curriculum together for sustainable agriculture. Right, and I says, you got the resource of the University of Minnesota right here, so I'm sure there's a lot of materials you have. They don't have to reinvent the wheel and such. And, very importantly, I know you play an important role in representing the University of Minnesota, but I do have to plug the University of Minnesota women's basketball team did make it into the NCAA, and they'll be playing Friday. The men, we didn't quite make it there, but the women are charging forward, and so the maroon and gold will be
How many of them were 4-H members? Do we know?
I don't know. I mean, I think if you went through the athletic program, you could find a bunch of athletes that were 4-Hers. I'm sure that'd be an interest. There's a survey for you. Tell Dean Durgan that Commissioner Ward wants that results of that survey. But no, thank you very much. A good presentation and a good presence. Looking forward to the fair. Commissioner Jacob and I did go on that tour, and so if anybody's available that day, it was very good. The young exhibitors did the presentations, and some of the ambassadors, 4-H ambassadors, led us through it, and they're always very proud and very informative of their project areas. So I did appreciate that.
Feel good about supporting the work being done when you get a little bit immersed in what's going on. So I think that's great.
When you get a 12-year-old, just jumping to tell you about their project.
Yeah.
It is very good work. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you for being here. Welcome, Lisa.
Welcome.
To being the regional. We'll see you at 5. We have our extension meeting at 5 o'clock tonight. Communications and committee reports. Commissioner Kavesi.
Yeah, I just wanted to thank the county and the citizens for sponsoring us to go to Legislative Day recently. It's always good to get up there and meet with groups of people. And this time we did meet with groups. We met with commissioners from all of the senators' districts or from the representative districts, and I think it was a good way to use both our time and their time. We had some very common not only common issues, but common bullet points for why they were issues. So I think hopefully that was made clear to some of the legislative officers or offices as we met with them. I have an announcement. Engage Winona is embarking on a series of listening sessions with youth for grades 7 to 12. And these are trained volunteers, and there's open-ended questions. The Engage Winona group really doesn't have an agenda. We started looking at what does the community need, and we decided the best thing to do is ask the community. So we're going to talk with small groups of youth and collect the feedback and get the direction directly from the youth. And then continue to meet with that new information. So that's probably just starting. Some groups may have already met, but if you're hearing anything about that, either contact Brian Verding or somebody involved with Engage Winona. And the last thing has to do with mental health. The AMC has a sample resolution regarding support for the continuum of mental health services. And if I would get a second, I would like to put that on a future agenda so we could discuss that and perhaps take a copy of this resolution or one like it that we might individualize and put it into the record. So I'd like to put that on a future agenda.
I'll second it.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's all.
All right. Commissioner Jacob.
I was just going to mention that March 22nd will be the event promoting modern agriculture. It's a great event. tickets are available. I think you'd have to contact Dwayne Wirt probably to get tickets for it, but that's 6 p.m. Riverport Inn, March 22nd, and some great presentations. So.
Okay. My announcement is it's Township Day. Township government is at a peak today with local elections and setting budgets. And coming in today on the radio, they said there's over 1,000 townships holding their annual meetings today. Now, I'm not sure how many townships are in Minnesota, if it's 1,000 or maybe it's more. But annual meetings, so they set budgets. Many have elections for their officers. So please vote and participate in your township government. And with that, entertain, I guess, a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Motion made by Commissioner Olson, seconded by Commissioner Kavesi to adjourn. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed, nay. Adjourn.